Alright guys, here I am again trying to inject a little poetry into your lives. And I apologize once again for the quality of my microphone. I don't have a microphone, so it's just the microphone in the computer, and that's why the sound quality is bad. But I hope it's helpful nonetheless. To your right, you will see four words, a little glossary. Please pause this recording and familiarize yourself with those words, and hopefully then when I read the poem, they won't be a problem and you'll be able to understand everything. So do that now, and otherwise I'll start reading the poem. I'll read it all through, and then I'll make a few explanations about certain terms. The one thing I can say is that here we are reaching the crisis point in the poem. The poet is in a spiritual crisis here, which will be resolved in the last canto, which is the next one. But here goes. Ode to the West Wind, Canto 4. If I were a dead leaf thou mightest bear, if I were a swift cloud to fly with thee, a wave to pant beneath thy power and share the impulse of thy strength, only less free than thou, O uncontrollable. If even I were as in my boyhood and could be the comrade of thy wanderings over heaven, as then, when to outstrip thy skiey speed scarce seemed a vision, I would never have striven, as thus with thee in prayer, in my sore need. O lift me as a wave, a leaf, a cloud. I fall upon the thorns of life, I bleed. A heavy weight of hours has chained and bowed one too like thee, tameless and swift and proud. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I do think this is a wonderful, wonderful poem, and it gets better the more I read it. Every time I read it, I like it more than before. And how many things in life can you say that about? Anyway, I imagine that there is one point in this particular canto that could be causing you problems as readers, and it is this part here, the third stanza. And it sort of continues on from the second one. The poet, he's wishing that he could be like the wind, or even like in his boyhood and his childhood, and could be the comrade of the wind wandering over heaven. As then, that is, as he was in his boyhood, so to speak. And then he says, when to outstrip thy sky speed scarce seemed a vision. This line is one sort of complex of meaning here. And when he was a child, the idea of being even faster than the wind was hardly anything he dreamed about. That's what it means. So if he could be part of the wind in that way, he would never have striven or fought with the wind. What this means is that the poet has fought with the wind in the sense that he has been very passionate. Shelley himself was a guy who tried to change the way society and the world worked. And in that way, you could say he's competed with the wind, because the wind, let's remember, in Ode to the West Wind, is a destroyer and a preserver. And Shelley, or the poet, we can't say exactly that it's Shelley himself, but the poet here, he wishes he was the same way, or he's competed with the wind in that regard, at least. And I hope you can understand the rest. We'll work more with this poem in class, and thank you for listening. I hope that it was helpful.